Previously on Three of Cups.
I just want to have a healthy, open, genuine relationship
Okay.
and connection.
Okay.
So let's get into this. The statement she said she just wants a genuine, healthy connection. A lot of the times we really don't understand in deciding the way you navigate either your current connections or future ones that come into your life. To provide a connection, what you're really doing is burdening them with showing up for you in a way that you actually are meant to be showing up for yourself, because it starts with you, not someone external of you.
Up next on Three of Cups.
What was once one turned into three, reconnecting with our family, a safe space to speak authentically. We raise our cups, unifying as three. We bring freedom in community, random thoughts and golden nugget treats. Welcome Three of Cups community. Let's go ahead and raise the frequency.
With unwarranted expectations that have been unspoken yet placed on the connection. She's also obviously triggered. She wants a connection, but with the way she's describing how he's going out to go hang out with other people without her, it now dives into the insecurity of abandonment, where now she doesn't feel connected to him because he's removing himself from a shared environment they share together, a home, to go hang out with other people to enjoy himself, just to enjoy himself. And her reaction to it sends her spiraling because she's realizing he's not comfortable enough to tell her that he wants his time to himself. She's not comfortable accepting the reality that he's not comfortable telling her no because he doesn't want to argue with her. He doesn't want to risk an argument. He doesn't want to risk a conflict upsetting her. So what's not being identified here is the fact that he's walking on eggshells and tiptoeing around her emotions because of how sensitive she is being towards the expectations she's placed on the relationship, with expecting him to compensate for the moments she's triggered. With insecurity of abandonment, she's expecting him to compensate for when it's triggered. And choosing to see it as a form of leaving her, as a form of not honoring her, as a form of not showing up for her, just because he's now choosing himself while sharing a relationship with her. Let's talk about the fact he's choosing to keep information in regards to him choosing to choose himself and go out and enjoy himself independent of the connection. Absolutely not right at all for anybody to just withhold information and lie, or maybe just not say anything at all and withhold information. Absolutely not. That's not okay. I'm not encouraging that at all. That habit is a reaction to someone that's not comfortable communicating and connecting. That habit is common when there is a person that is not comfortable communicating fluidly with confidence that they're going to be doing something for themselves, and they don't want to do it as a unit. They just want to be with themselves, with their buddies, and not have to worry about having to always have their partner with them 24/7. Sometimes Space is practiced, and it's okay to regulate space. But in this scenario, she's not used to space. She's not used to being given space. She sees space as abandonment. She sees space as a triggered area of insecurity. So then, let's go back to the point of it's not okay for him to withhold information intentionally. No, it's not. It's not. That's not a good habit to develop. It's a habit that develops to survive in a connection that is suffocating. It's a habit that is created when a person feels they can't talk to their partner anymore. A person that acts like a victim, but they are actually the ones actually suffocating the connection. But they act like a victim to the reaction they receive without looking at the habits they're acting on that created the reaction, which is a consequence to their choice of action, is someone that is still developing a sense of emotional maturity with identifying how they are choosing to show up in a connection. That is a very harsh pill for most people that choose to not look at themselves while they are upset at how their partner is treating them or reacting to them. A lot of the time, they condone actions done towards them that are either covert or passive, but they're not yet ready to understand the consequences to what reverted to those habits to begin with. They're ready to just jump to what action was acted upon that caused them to feel the way that they're currently feeling without looking at the reasons why. And then if they do look at the reasons why the habits led to what they led to, it's very easy to rationalize things just to avoid being responsible for yourself, which is also very toxic. Because if you're busy rationalizing behavior more than you are understanding your own behavior, you're going to be in a regular cycle of constantly feeling disconnected in a relationship you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Because you're not growing. You're choosing to stay in a space of wanting someone else to compensate for where you begin to feel insecure every time you get triggered. And then you rationalize your actions or habits and gossip about the behavior you receive from the actions you rationalize and attempt to justify, where nothing actually gets resolved. It just gets put on repeat. So you're going to always constantly experience disconnection. You're going to always constantly experience distance. You're going to always constantly experience the same reaction from your partner, from the way the direction of every conversation turns out. Because that's the type of relationship you're having with yourself, aside from the external relationship you're in.
And he's taking a day out of the week that we're supposed to be spending time together to go and hang out with other people and not include me.
Maybe he's living his life?
When I deserve to be included too. I don't understand why he would keep this from me.
No accountability, I see.
These are the habits that are a consequence to behavior that get rationalized by the person complaining and gossiping about what's going on in the connection because they're not sitting with themselves. This is the perfect example for that.
I've done so much to help him and stuff, and I thought that we were open in our connection where he could be honest and open with me. I don't get what I'm doing wrong.
Okay. So, with that being said, let's get into the part of when you're doing things to help your partner. And you're super supportive and helpful. You're well versed in many things that, you know, maybe they are not, or maybe they are, but you're well versed enough to be more effective and proactive at getting it done at a much faster pace than maybe they are. When you are actually doing things to assist them in whichever way that actually benefits them to have a more progressive area where they might run into a wall or a stagnant moment, or maybe they're stuck in not understanding a specific thing. Your position of assistance should never be rooted in a space of an unspoken expectation that they should continue to compensate and maintain an area of yourself that revolves around an insecurity you're not nurturing within yourself when it comes to space, and nurturing a healthy amount of it within the relationship. This is very unconscious. This is very unconscious because most people that actually act upon most people that act upon doing favors for people they care for are very unaware of the unspoken expectations a lot of the time, where it doesn't teach someone to know that it's okay to just receive without expectations. It teaches someone to receive while knowing that, oh, well, I guess I have to keep compensating for what they want from me since they're going out of their way to do this, but the things that they're wanting from me are things that, you know, are suffocating me. The things they want, they're not actually benefiting me as a person. So then the person receiving that help has to question, do I even want their help? And then that is a whole nother category. Because if you're in a connection where you're always offering assistance or you're always helping somebody out and you're going out of your way to do it, and you're not saying up front what maybe you're hoping to gain in return for being more.
Up next on Three of Cups. Up next on Three of Cups.
You're not going to know what a genuine connection really looks like. And you're not going to understand what a healthy amount of space looks like versus an unhealthy amount of space. It's going to be hard to tell while you're in a space of limbo with operating in the idea that if you just do things for them, if you continue to just keep doing things, when it's obvious they're avoiding you. It's obvious they're now making time for themselves where they're choosing themselves to avoid you in the relationship because it's hard to now talk to you. Nice of a partner you've got. I don't care how thoughtful, awesome, patient they are. If you don't learn to sit with the areas of yourself that you have been having other people and other connections compensate for when you are triggered or reacting to them, you become the problem when you're not responsible for yourself. Which is why, for her example, she's in a space where there's disharmony in a relationship she's assuming her partner is causing. Communicate to them because she just wants a connection through communication is what it's showing here. Her insecurity has led her to resorting to a trait she has developed for a sense of survival when it came down to feeling she's acting on a habit she developed through survival. When you develop that kind of habit from an area of survival, where you seek conflict from another person just to communicate about a topic that is tough to talk about without conflict, you're coming from a wounded space, which means you're not necessarily ready to.
What was once one turned into three, reconnecting with our family, a safe space to speak authentically. We raise our cups, unifying as three. We bring freedom in community, random thoughts and golden nugget treats. Welcome Three of Cups community. Let's go ahead and raise the frequency.